Hi friends, it's Carrie from Stretch Chi. Instead of stretching today, we're going to talk about something really important. We're going to talk a little bit about pain, emotions, defense mechanisms, and how to not let them run your life. It's kind of the topic of the day. It's been actually the topic of the week for most of my clients. So I thought I'd address it today because if it's happening for them, it's probably happening for you too. It's definitely happening for me sometimes. So what do you do when your pain turns you into a monster? We all want to live our best lives, right? We all want to live peacefully and joyfully. We want to have a great life. But when everything hurts, you might find yourself lashing out. You might find yourself withdrawing. It might be really hard to make decisions. And it's hard to figure out why that is, or even like how do you maneuver life when this is life? When you can't seem to find yourself, it's way more painful than any pain in your body. So let me help you find out how to find yourself in the midst of this pain. First, you need to know about your pain body. Now, I've recently reread. First time I didn't get it. Second time I totally absorbed it. I devoured The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. He talks about something called your pain body. What is a pain body? It's basically a sensory organ that tells you that you're in pain. It's an alarm system that says to your mind, that says to you as a being, hey, danger. An example of this would be like back pain. Like you wake up in the morning and you're like, ouch, right? That's all it is, ouch, right? You twist your ankle and you're like, ouch, right? You have a headache, ouch. You have a sore throat, ouch, right? That's all it is. It's just the ouch. It's an alarm that says, hey, something's wrong. Pay attention. The pain body protects us, though. This is the important part about it, is that it's actually a protective mechanism. This is a survival thing that we have. If you don't feel pain, you're in trouble. Like you need to feel pain to survive. The pain body signals muscles to get tighter. Like for instance, when your back seizes up, when you've done something, like if you've hurt a disc, if you've herniated or you have a bulging disc, then your whole back will seize up to protect around your spine to make sure that you don't move. So you end up bedridden, stiff as a board, right? Not good. But better than like severe back injury, right? Yeah, so thanks, pain body. Another example would be like if you twist your ankle. You twist your ankle, the actual injury, like the sprained ligament, maybe even if it's torn, doesn't actually hurt that bad, but your pain body says, oh no, and then your brain goes, okay, got this, and it sends all of this fluid and healing things into your ankle so that you won't walk on it. A swollen ankle is actually a protective mechanism to make sure that you don't injure yourself again. So yay, thanks pain body. Appreciate that. Hurts though. The good thing about the pain body is that it incites change. So if you did have a swollen ankle, you would figure out a way to walk with a limp or how to use crutches. If you have a frozen shoulder, you would figure out how to use the other arm for certain things. If you have back pain, you would learn to compensate so that you don't continually injure your back. That's the good thing about our pain body, is that it actually compensates so that we can continue to survive, especially if we're in a bad situation. Like if you were hiking through the mountains and you got attacked by a mountain lion, you would need to be able to get away. And the pain body ensures that you can get away because it helps you build compensation patterns. It incites change in your body. The problem is when you're in chronic pain, because then your pain body is constantly giving you messages. And it's hard to listen to that all the time. Chronic pain is tough. It's really tough. And there are extra things that come along with it. It's not just the pain. There's more to it. So the next thing that I want to talk about is your emotional body. So you have your pain body, and it's the sensory organ that feels your pain. You also have an emotional body, which is where you feel your feelings. These are our less obvious alarm systems. So like for instance, if I have back pain, the feeling behind the back pain isn't an emotion of pain, it's an emotion of fear, not knowing what will happen if you actually try to get out of bed. Or like if you have a frozen shoulder, maybe that emotion is depression that you can't paint or play the piano or pick up your kids, right? That could be something that's really sad for you. So there's an emotion behind it. Or maybe you twisted your ankle and you are really frustrated because you can't walk from one place to the other. So maybe you're frustrated, maybe you're angry. You're angry at yourself because you fell off the sidewalk, right? So you have these emotions: sadness, anger, frustration, fear. Those all are legitimate. They're all there. Sometimes we have guilt about our feelings. Sometimes we have shame about our feelings. Again, this emotional body is there for your protection. It's a small warning signal that tells you to slow down, stop, do something different. Something's not right. I feel sad. Why do I feel sad? I feel fearful. Maybe I should do something different. I feel angry. Maybe I should do something different about that. So these emotions are actually really important for your own protection. The great thing about your emotional body is that it also inspires you to change. So if you are fearful, then if you can process that fear, you can move from a place of courage as opposed to a place of fear. If you feel depressed, you can move from a place of joy. If you feel frustrated or angry, you can move from a place of forgiveness. That's not always easy to do either. And especially if you're in chronic pain, like we were talking about before. Remember, chronic pain means that you're constantly stimulated with pain. That means that you're probably also constantly stimulated with these emotions. The protection of these emotions is real because it keeps you from doing something stupid, like jumping out of bed in the morning to take on the day because you have back pain, right? No. I feel really scared about my back pain, so I'm gonna take it easy out of bed today, or maybe I'm just gonna stay right here. Or like if you're depressed, like you're not gonna go dancing, maybe you need to cry instead, right? So it tells us what to do or what not to do. So good for the emotional body, but again, it's hard when you're in chronic pain. When you have chronic pain, you are lacking the tools necessary to learn how to set boundaries around your pain. So maybe you bottle up your emotions and it's really hard to let go. Maybe you just put on a happy face all the time. All it comes down to is having the right tools to be able to set boundaries for yourself in the right way. How do you do that when you don't have the tools? I mean, you probably weren't taught those tools. Many people weren't. I wasn't. I had to learn this for myself. Our parents do the best they can, but if they don't have the same tools, then I'm not going to have the same tools either. So how do you gain these tools? Well, gaining these tools is the key to letting go. So I'm going to walk you through this process. But there's one more thing we have to talk about, and that is defense mechanisms. Your defense mechanisms come from your ego mind, which in my opinion is just another part of this pain, emotion, mind response. Your ego mind is kind of like having a mind body. It's separate from your actual mind because you can hear it. So I have my mind that's like the deep piece inside of me that feels peace, the deep piece inside of me that makes decisions, right? Makes decisions on its own, knows what to do during the day. It's the piece of me that knows that when I want to walk, I just walk. If I want to go that way, I go that way. But I don't have to like consciously decide, like if I go to the right or if I go to the left, this is going to happen. I don't know, you could go this way, you could go that way, right? That's your ego mind that creates ruminating thoughts, those circling thoughts that plague you, right? That's your ego mind. Now your ego mind's whole goal, just like your pain body and your emotional body, is to protect you. So your ego mind has decided that you can't face the pain and that you can't face the emotions. So your ego has created defense mechanisms. And basically this ego mind has decided it's going to sidestep the pain and it's going to sidestep the emotion completely. It's kind of an amazing thing that we do, actually. It's not always helpful. It's most likely not helpful at all, unless you were trying to run away from a cougar that just attacked you in the forest. And in that case, your ego mind telling you, you can do it, keep running, everything's fine, keep running, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. That's actually helpful in that situation. But in everyday life, that's not where we're at. Your ego mind grows, it gets its fuel from obsessive thinking. Those are your ruminating thoughts. It gets fuel from identifying with your illness or your pain, like saying to everyone that you have this issue. Like when you find yourself at a dinner party talking about your knees, that's a sign, right? You are identifying yourself with your bad knees. You are identifying yourself with your autoimmune disorder. You are identifying yourself with your back pain. That's feeding your ego. Another way that we feed our ego is by bottling up. So bottling up would sound like this in your head. I'm okay, everything's fine. My life isn't that bad, I actually have a life. There are children starving in Africa. So when you hear those kind of thoughts in your head, it's your ego. It's your ego trying to protect you from what's actually really happening, which are alarm systems that are telling you to do something. So what we want to do is like chime down that ego. So you got to catch yourself whenever you find yourself bottling up and trying to convince yourself that you're okay. Another one is constant complaining or victim mentality. So if you find yourself calling your friends or your mom or whoever and be like, you're not gonna believe what happened to me, this and that, and I can't believe it, and everybody in my life, and I can't get a break. That's constant complaining and victim mentality, and all that does is create drama in your life. And you know what? Your ego loves drama. Mine does. I am like so guilty of this. If any of you have spent time with me, you've probably heard my stories, and I am really good at creating drama in my life for no good reason at all. But if you catch it, if you catch yourself doing it, you can actually let go of these defense mechanisms, and then you can get to the root problem and make change, make positive change, and learn how to take care of yourself instead of ignoring everything that's happening. So there's a process to this. It's a process of letting go, and this comes from a combination of books that I recently reread. One is Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now. The other one is by David Hawkins called Letting Go. I highly recommend both books. I'll put the links below in the description, so be sure to check those out if you want to find out more. But here's the basic process to letting go. The first thing is to catch yourself when you feel a defense mechanism or when you hear a defense mechanism kicking in. So if you hear yourself saying, first world problems. If you hear yourself saying, but I'm okay. If you hear yourself saying, you're not gonna believe this, right? If you hear yourself complaining at all, if you hear yourself saying, well, I have this. If you catch yourself telling a story in your head, if you're talking to yourself in the shower or talking to your face in the mirror, that's a defense mechanism. So the first thing is to catch that defense mechanism. Once you catch it, you have a choice to do something with it. So basically the best thing to do is just say, hey, defense mechanism, I see you. Thanks for your protection, but I'm okay. Second, check in with your pain body at that very moment, because for some reason, something is triggering you to have those obsessive thoughts or those bottled up thoughts or that victim mentality. So check in with your pain body. Where's your pain right now? What does it feel like? Where is it? Then check in with your emotional body. What are the emotions that you are feeling right now? I recommend not even putting a name to it. Just feel it. Just feel what that feels like. It's not hard to have a moment where you're like, oh, I'm really frustrated, or I'm really sad, or I am super angry, or I feel kind of guilty. This feels like guilt. This feels like shame. Right? What is this feeling? And you don't even have to put a word on it, just feel it. And then the next step is to accept what you feel right now. Accept the pain body, accept the emotional body, and the signals that they're giving you. Say, you know what, I hear you. I accept you, I hear you. Thank you for this warning. Hurts, but thank you for the warning. You don't need to thank it. It knows. It's pain body. It doesn't care about thanks. But just accept where you are right now. Accept your pain. Accept the emotion surrounding the moment that you're in right now. And then ask yourself 3 questions. The first question is, can I change my current situation right now? Not can you change it in the future. Like, it doesn't mean like, well, yeah, if I do this, or if I say this, or if I send this letter, if I do this thing, or if I whatever. Not in the future, but can you change it right now? And that means, do you need to make a phone call? Do you need to send an email? Do you need to take your medicine? Do you need to do a stretch? Do you need to take a nap, right? What do you need to do? What could you do to change your situation right now? Second, is there anything you could do to improve your situation right now? So like, for instance, I catch myself all the time. I'll sit on the train for like, I don't know, I'm on the train for a long time. I have a long commute into the studio. And I love my train rides. I spend them trying to be present if I can, but I'll catch myself every now and again in a ruminating thought or an obsessive thinking pattern. And I'll take stock and I'll realize that I am sitting really rigidly, or maybe with my legs crossed, and it hurts a little bit. And so I can say like, okay, can I improve my situation? Well, I can uncross my legs, or I can lean back in the chair a little bit and get a little more comfortable. So, hey, look what I just did. I just improved my situation. I feel a lot more comfortable actually right now. That's kind of cool. So there's that. What can you do to improve your situation? Sometimes I find myself walking outside and it's cold out, and I may be in pain, I may have emotional pain, I might feel a defense mechanism coming on. And as I scan through my body and I see what's happening, and I scan through the emotions, which only takes a second or two, I realize like it's cold and my gloves are in my purse. So I can improve my situation by putting on my gloves. Now these all sound like really simple things, like how does this work when you have severe back pain and you can't get out of bed? Or how does this work when you have chronic fatigue? It's basically about taking care of yourself in the present moment, right now. What can you do to improve your situation? Do you need to drink a glass of water? Do you need to put on an extra blanket? Do you need to take a shower? What would make you feel better? What can you do in the immediate moment right now to make your situation better? And the third question, can you get out of the situation that you're in right now? So like, say you're having a pain body response. Maybe you are in a meeting and your pain body just kicks in, like you feel horrible. Maybe you have a stomach ache. Maybe the pain is like too much for you to handle. Is it possible for you to leave the meeting? Like, do you need to go home from work? Listen to yourself. Can you remove yourself from the situation? If you find that you are on a committee and you're always complaining about the people on the committee, can you remove yourself from the committee? If you find that you are in pain all the time because you work out too much, can you remove one day from your workout for a recovery day? Is there something that you can change by removing? What can you remove from your world that will make your situation better right now? Can you do it? So those three things are actionable tasks that are self-care and self-loving tasks for you to do right now. So like, it is self-love for me right now to sit more comfortably in the chair. And you'll notice when I started this video, I was like this. You can scan back if you want to and see that I'm like, let me tell you all about pain. If I take a second and relax right now, I actually feel really good. Like, it changes my entire experience filming this video. And you could do the same thing right now, just by taking a second to say, can I change it? Can I improve it? Or can I remove it? Will change how you're experiencing the present moment right now. So what can you do? The next point, what if you can't do anything? Well, you've got this pain in your body, you've got this emotion in your body, and you can't do anything about it. So the only thing left to do is surrender. That's it. And you don't necessarily have to surrender like, that's it, my life's over, I'm done, right? That's your ego, that's drama. But you could surrender the emotion. So say you're feeling depressed. What if you get to this point where you realize, you know what, there's nothing I can do about this. So I accept this depression and I surrender to it. Feel it for a second, but you don't want to stay there forever, right? So the best way to change that pattern, everyone will tell you be grateful, right? So list gratitude every day that'll make you happy. Or say affirmations, like keep telling yourself over and over, I am happy, I am happy. Someone told me today, just smile, keep smiling. It's proven that if you smile enough times, you'll actually become happy. No, what you do is you surrender, feel the sadness so that your body can process, so that your mind can process, that everything can process that sadness, but allow yourself to be in the present moment. Then your thoughts can't ruminate. So even if it's for 2 seconds, feel 5 senses. So first thing is to touch, because that's one of our strongest senses. So what I will do is touch something that's close to me, not a person. I'll touch something that's close to me. So I have a plant here, so I can feel what the plant feels like. I can feel my fingertips. That's a really easy one, to just feel your fingertips. I can just touch my face, feel it. I can feel what my clothes feel like on my body. I can feel what the air feels like on my skin. I can take note of what the temperature is, right? So take a second and just feel with your senses, not your emotional feels, but your actual physical touch feel. Feel something right now in the present moment. Next, eyes. This is an easy one. Look around, but look around for the beauty in the world. And it's very helpful to be in nature. So I can take a second and look at this gorgeous plant and how the light shines through and how the veins in the plant go through the leaf. I can look out the window. It's snowing right now in Chicago. I don't know if you guys can see that. The snow is amazing. It's like absolutely gorgeous, big fluffy white flakes of snow. Look around your room. Look at how the light reflects on things. Look at the colors. Just look. The next one that's very easy is to listen. So be quiet. And what do you hear around you? I hear pianos. I hear some singers. I can hear the radiator. I just heard the train. So you listen and you can actually bring yourself really into the present moment. Smell is another one. Not always as easy, but it kind of has this smell in here like winter, because the window's open and it smells like snow. Taste is a tough one, but I do have a cup of coffee, so what if I take a sip of my coffee and really enjoy the bitterness of coffee? Like, how often do you really savor, like really pay attention to the taste of your coffee? You can be present in the moment right now. When you take stock of those 5 senses, you have taken yourself out of the ruminating thoughts. You've taken yourself out for a second of the defense mechanism, and your body has allowed itself to process the sadness or the anger or whatever that emotion was. And then at this point, you take stock again and you ask yourself, what's left? So what's left for me right now is that my lungs hurt. I'm a little bit sick. I have a little coughing this week. You can probably hear it in my voice, a little raspy. So I can feel that. I feel like my throat is dry. So, hey, pain body, there's that piece. My emotional body feels a little frustrated by that. So I'm going to allow that frustration to be there. I am going to ask myself questions. Is there something I can do right now to fix this? Not really. My body's fixing it on its own. There's not really anything I can do. I've taken all the medications I need. I'm drinking enough water, I'm being good, everything's fine. I could probably stop talking soon, that would help. The second thing is there anything I do to improve this situation? I could drink more water, get a cough drop. These things would be helpful. Can I remove myself from the situation? Not really. I mean, I could stop talking. Again, I could remove myself from that situation. We're almost through. And then the last question is, well, if there's nothing that I can really do in this situation, then it's time for me to let go of that frustration. Can't do anything about it. And it's not in my best interest to feel this frustration right now. So I'm just gonna let it go. And I do that usually just a nice exhale. I don't know why it works, it just does. And then I get real present. So I'm looking at the radiator. I'm looking at the fringe on the fabric cover that's on the radiator. I'm looking at the cables hanging down from the lights and the curtain, what's that called? The ceiling fan? You know, you pull on those things. I'm looking at those. I'm touching my coffee cup. I'm feeling my feet on the floor. I'm being present in the moment. And if you take that time to be present, now you've let go of the frustration, the anger, the sadness, whatever it is, and you can be present. Now in 3 minutes, you might be right back to ruminating thoughts again, but then you just go right through this pattern again. You just keep letting go, keep doing it, and you'll totally notice a difference. Not just in your pain, but how you relate to the world. Mainly, you'll release those emotions that have really been bottled up inside of you for so long. So good luck. I would love to hear about your experience in your comments. Let me know how you feel. And I will see you guys on Monday for a leg day. Have a good one.